Ravens. And this is the first real team in my mind that the Patriots have played all season in their undefeated season. Similar to, like I said this a couple weeks ago to you guys. I said, who have the Niners really played? When I said that, it changed Dave's opinion slightly of them. Well, it's the same thing, both sides, NFC, AFC, Niners, 49ers, or Niners and Patriots. And I think we're going to start to see both of these teams, although I don't think the Patriots schedule even gets that much tougher, I feel like, but because they're in that weak division. But the Niners, it definitely does. And we'll start to see what they're really truly made of and how they respond. But that big game, week 12 against the Packers, is really going to tell us a lot, And but to answer your question, I'd rather have the Packers and what they've gone through, even though, yeah, it's a worse record. So it's like, well, wouldn't you rather have the undefeated record, not have the 2 losses? Yeah, I get that. But we have to go to San Francisco because of seeding, because of, the record at the end of the day. I'd rather go to San Francisco. I'm not too worried about playing in San Francisco. Would I rather have the home game, make the California team come to Lambeau in the cold? Yeah, of course I would. But I feel like this team, and we can say this about Packers teams, for years now, I feel like they're usually built for nicer weather and domes anyway. So it's cool. I'm good with us going there. But I just think ultimately having the tests early, going through some adversity, and coming out for the most part, pretty good with the 7-2 record, I'll take that. I think that long term that helps the team.
Well, me being the one that asked the question, it's probably obvious which one I'd rather have.
Yeah.
I'd definitely rather be the Packers because I definitely think that there's a thing called false momentum, false bravado. I think there's 2 teams out there that have it, and they're ironically up to this point, and one's playing right now, are both undefeated. I think it's the Patriots, and I think it's the 49ers. The Patriots, they said it this morning. Now, the result of this game is not factored into this, but I think to this point they are 26-0 versus first and second year quarterbacks in the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era, right? That's all they've played this year. And so there's this historically great defense is getting lots of turnovers because they're getting dumb mistakes from guys that have no idea what the hell they're seeing or doing out on the field. And so it's a false bravado. The Patriots have also played a very soft schedule. The only difference is there is no tough part of their schedule because they play in the AFC least, where everybody wants a top 3 pick in that division except for the Patriots. And they're just too damn good for people to understand. You can't make it easy for them. Like, they're not going to give you games. Like, if you don't show up, the Patriots will stomp you. They don't care. Like, that's why they're good. They don't look at it and go, oh, well, it's Miami. They're trying to lose. We don't need to worry about it. They're like, oh, it's Miami. They're trying to lose. Let's go show them why they want to lose and they suck. Let's make sure we step on their face and rub it extra hard in the loser's mud hole on our way through town. So that even though when we leave, they know that they're like, oh, yeah, we want to lose. They still are hurt and in their feelings because they lost, but they lost in a way they didn't really want to lose, okay? That's how the Patriots operate. Like, they take teams that want to lose and still manage to stomp their confidence and like how the hell do you come away from a loss feeling bad when you're trying to lose? Somehow that's the way the Patriots make you feel. That's just the way it is.
Oh man, I want to see one of those types of wins by the Packers. I guess the Raiders, maybe that win was kind of that way, but not totally. I want to see it. Just I'm going to stomp on you and just belittle you and cut your throat out type of win. And
there was a little bit of that came out. And they turned it into a GIF, and that's part of why I felt the way I felt this week, because we were all flying high on the all gas, no fucking brakes comment from LaFleur, okay? So.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Well, time to get this thing getting wrapped up. Before we do that, you guys like to always give some shout outs, to whether it's fellow Packer fans or just other NFL fans in general. You got anyone out there, Jay, that you want to give a shout out to?
Oh, you don't even have to worry about doing the shout out stuff anymore, man. Unless you've got some special ones you want to do, it's all pre-recorded now, Ryan. We are organized.
Oh, nice. No, I don't really have any, to be honest.
You don't have any Vikings fans wearing Halloween masks, hanging out, drinking White Claw in the background this time, or?
Not tonight. It was a loss, so I don't know. There's just my mind's elsewhere right now. When the team loses, man, I feel like everything's just it's just not quite as shiny and fun. So, but anyway, it's time to wrap this thing up. Jay, you want to give your final thoughts before I give mine?
Well, actually, you know what? We will save that. We'll do all the shout-out stuff, and then we'll give our final thoughts and get the hell out of here. And if you haven't had enough of
Mr.
our
Producer
banter tonight, you want to visit NFL Addictions on Facebook.com for all of your NFL banter and debate. It's not a trash talk site, so keep it clean and keep it cordial. That's NFL Addictions on Facebook.com. And if you still have an itch to scratch when you're done with that, you want to visit Raz Addictions on Facebook.com to play their version of the raffle for all kinds of chances at cool prizes. You can even win some cash. Buy a $10 raffle ticket with a chance at $100. That's a chance to win 10 times your money. It don't get any better than that. That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for all kinds of cool prizes. Tell them what you've won, Dave.
I've won everything from NFL tailgating barbecue sets. I've got old school helmets. I've got new style helmets. I've got memorabilia rings. I've got signed banners. I've got signed footballs. I've got everything that Raz Addiction offers, folks. They also have more that I haven't won, which is surprising, but they're cheap, affordable, and they're certified stuffs that you can win. So go ahead and check it out.
That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com. Go there, play, and win. And now it's time for shout-outs.
We have at Packers 365 with Ryan Molstad, host of the First and Goal 365 post-game show, covers all things Packers with passion and great insight. Then we have Miss at Julie Noted _PFG NFL writer and co-founder with at Backs Football Guru of at PFG Vibe and PFG Vibecast. Julie is also a cult writer for at Our Turf Football, a women's group of sports writers with having great pieces and is a great sports follow. Also, we have PackToTheFuture.com, where it features us on their podcast sections, where you can get all the things you didn't even know, where you can check out Packers news and check out tickets to the games and even Packer event updates.
At Parker Momos is a Packers writer and contributor for Die Hard Packer Fan, a great young writer with a different view of the game and brings a ton of energy and passion to his work. Then you've got at Monty JP231, the founder and host of the Full Monty Football Show every Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, featured by Nuts and Bolts Sports on blogtalkradio.com. He works hard on Sundays so you don't have to. And follow the rest of the crew too at Greg Cowboys, at Lion Cuban, and at the other George Lopez. Again, that's at Monty JP231 on the Twitter.
We're going to round this out with the NFC North Round Table Fellas. Starting off with at Mike Zimmer's Ears. JB is co-host of the Heart and Skull podcast. Then we have at the Fifth Top. Julius Porter is a Detroit native Lions writer for at Detroit Sports Nation, and Uncle Mike 21. Austin Fugelstad is the co-host of at Hollis Hall Brawl, covering all the things you need to know about the Bears, Vikings, Lions, and Packers from these fellas. Also, special shout out to Julius Porter, He's going over to Afghanistan, folks. He's going over to be a contractor to help set up for the soldiers. Go ahead and keep him in your prayers. We're going to miss you, buddy. We'll be holding a spot for you when you get back. We'll miss you and love you.
Much love, Julius. Stay safe, buddy. And as always, you can follow us on the Twitter at First and Goal Pod, myself at UPJ33, Dave is at Steak and Cheese, the fantasy wonder himself, Dylan at DylanBusby1. Email us at firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com with all your football and Packer questions. Give us your comments, and you just might end up making the show live. Again, that's firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com. All right, and we are back, and it's time for the final thoughts. You can go ahead and start since you are the host of the show, unless you want me to go first so you can close it out. It's your call, buddy.
I'm gonna let you do this one first, and I'll close this one out.
All right, my final thoughts. I'll say it again. Number one, as much as we ragged on the players, this was essentially one I'm putting on the coaching staff because it was their job to read what their players were going through on the field, in my opinion, and try to help them the best they can in the situation. And I felt like they sat on their hands and stuck to the game plan. We're a little stubborn. Two, the grand scheme of things, if there's an LA game that we were going to lose or a West Coast California game out of the three we had to play this year, this was one, non-conference, non-divisional. And three, in the grand scheme of all this is exactly how I had it predicted. Don't listen to all the negativity, whether it be national or local. It's just what they do to get clicks. It means nothing in the grand scheme of things, and it's exactly what, if you listen to this show, what I told you was going to happen weeks 8 through 13. The only difference is last week bumped us up to where I think we'll finish 12-4, but stay calm, Packer Nation. It's a bad game. It sucks to lose, but this one is one where you should wake up tomorrow morning and you should be happy that it's week 10 and there's another game, and there should be no thoughts or no ill will about what happened. Just move on. Let it go.
I share a lot of the same sentiments, and that's what I'm going to mention in my final thoughts is, you know what? This was a game that this happens every year. Doesn't matter how good this team is, or any team for that matter. They're going to drop a game like this, especially when it's on the road. Yeah, I know. I get it. It was mainly Packer fans there. But it wasn't because of the stadium and the fans and all that. It was all because of coaching, preparedness, game plan, desperation, motivation. It was about a lot of other factors. The Chargers had more of it. They did a better job with it. The Chargers had a game plan. They got a bunch of players that they've been getting back over the last couple of weeks, which have slowly been getting back reincorporated into this team. They're a better team than record shows. And they finally put together a good game plan against, unfortunately, the Packers. During the same game where they failed as a coaching staff, where they failed as a team to not make mistakes. And when you put those two things together, this is what happens. You get a 26-11 loss. I'm not worried about it. I saw that this was probably going to happen for several factors, which I mentioned earlier in this show. I'm not even upset. Well, I mean, I'm upset. Don't get me wrong. I want this team to win every game. But again, in the grand scheme of it, everyone in the NFC North lost. This was an AFC loss, so it's not going to be as big of a factor when you're talking about even seeding at the end of the season. Time to move on. Basically, take this game plan and crumple it up, throw it in the garbage, move on to the next game. So we appreciate everybody listening live, anyone that's going to be listening to us on the podcast. I really love doing these shows. We'll have Dave on back next time. But for tonight, this is Ryan Molstead with Packers_365 in the Packers 365 postgame show. And with Jay, UPJ33 on Twitter. Make sure you follow him. Signing off. Thanks for listening, guys. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack Go, folks. We'll see you on Tuesday night when Dave and I are back live on air at 10 p.m. Eastern, live.